It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
Thank you for checking out the podcast, the Sean Widmer Podcast. I love having you here, and I hope you enjoy your stay today. We got to talk about the coldest place in America, snowiest place in America, and if that's an exaggeration or not, a game that deserves a little bit of love. A board game that deserves a little bit of love. I don't think it gets it, and so we're gonna just remind you of this today because I think it's needed. But we are starting the podcast off with the thing that has never happened in my life. Never happened in my lifetime. I have watched, oh man, how much sports have I watched in my lifetime? I've watched countless, infinite hours of sports. I love them. I was watching sports tonight. I was watching the Blazers. Blazers are playing the Suns right now. Looks like the Blazers are going to win, barring a major collapse here in the fourth quarter. And I had to come in here and record the podcast before I got too tired. I love sports. I love them. It's what out of high school, all I wanted to do was be involved in sports, whether that was, on media, coaching, whatever it was, broadcasting. I wanted to be around sports, and I was very fortunate to get to be around sports for a very long time in my 20s and 30s. It could have gone on forever, I think. But, as it is, here's where we're at. Family guy, family life in Lexington, Kentucky. And I love it. But I just love sports. I've been around them forever. So today, something happened that had never happened in my life before, watching tons of sports. Back in the early 2010s, something awesome happened, and that was the Seattle Seahawks won a Super Bowl, first time ever. That was really cool. I have never seen my NBA team win the NBA Finals. The Sonics won before I was born. I've never seen my baseball team win a championship. Mariners have never won a championship. This is the year, right? Every year they say that this is the year, but last year was really good. So let's actually do it this year. But I've never seen the Mariners win a World Series. Never have I ever. There's so many things, right? I've never seen in sports, but one of those things, check it off the bucket list. I saw America win the gold in hockey, and that was awesome. USA wins gold. Miracle on Ice happened in 1980. I was not yet born. And of course, that event lives on in infamy. America beats the Soviet Union in the gold medal game. They make a movie of it with Kurt Russell, one of my all-time favorite actors. And it's just legendary sports moments. And today, Jack Hughes, Connor, I don't know how to say your last name, the goalie, Helly, just carry the USA to a gold medal, and it was rad. And the entire nation watched this game, and it was a buzz all over the internet all morning. 8 o'clock East Coast time, which was great. I know really early on the West Coast, 5 o'clock over on the West Coast. My brother, this is probably the one time my brother was happy to have kids that wake up early. He's got an infant child, because now you got to wake up early and you had something to watch on TV. But it happened today. And it was rad, and it was awesome, and it was great, and the hockey was great. And I want to get out here with hockey, my thoughts on hockey. So I grew up loving hockey as a kid. Roller hockey, played a lot of roller hockey growing up, and fell in love with watching hockey. My sister Erin and I used to watch hockey on ESPN. Beautiful Venezuela stealing satellite signal and piping it into houses around Rubio, Venezuela, illegally, getting ESPN, watching Friday night hockey. I think it was Friday night. How'd that theme song go? I had it in my head. It's one of my favorite sports theme songs ever. Let's get it in here. This is totally illegal. This podcast going to get flagged. ESPN, NHL song. Here we go. How did it go? All right, there it was. I need to get into the meat and potatoes of it. Here we go. I guess that's what it is. It's great. That theme song was awesome. But Aaron and I watched a ton of hockey growing up. I fell in love with the Vancouver Canucks, Pavel Bure, Trevor Linden, and them boys. Loved them. And then I fell in love with the New Jersey Devils, which is where Jack Hughes plays now. But I fell in love with the New Jersey Devils to the point where I love Claude Lemieux and Martin Brodeur and their team so much. And this was kind of one of those Atlanta Braves on TNT sort of thing. The Devils were good and they were on TV a lot. So they were who I could watch, and I fell in love with them to the point where I own a New Jersey Devils hockey puck from a trip we had to the States. And we were at, I think it was like Disneyland or something weird like that. We came up and was that 9th grade. We went to Disneyland and my parents were like, you guys can each get one thing from Disneyland. My sister probably chose something Disney. And there was a store that had sporting goods and I saw a New Jersey Devils puck. And I got that as my Disney World or my Disneyland item. I don't even know why. I'm sure it was Disneyland. I know I got it in California on a Disneyland trip. So anyhow, just great memories. I loved hockey growing up. I've only owned season tickets to one sporting event in my life. It's the Spokane Indians, or excuse me, Spokane Chiefs hockey team. That's the only season tickets I've ever owned in my life. I think that's one of the best games in town. It gets cold in Spokane. It gets miserable in Spokane during the winter. I do not like winter. Gets dark early. The way I fought off the seasonal depression was Spokane Chiefs hockey. And I love it. In the mid-2000s, I had the NHL center ice. For like 4 years, I paid way too much for that so I could try to watch hockey. I really love hockey. But I will admit, since about 2008, 2009, I have stepped away from hockey. It is not because I don't like it anymore. I don't have time, and I fill my cup with the NBA. I love the NBA. And I love college basketball. So that's kind of where I went, and I strayed away from hockey. I was really into it in the mid-2000s because I was really dialed into my sports show, and I wanted to cover the WHL, which was the hockey league up in the Pacific Northwest. I wanted to follow those teams because people are passionate about it up there, and then I wanted to follow the players that were from the WHL as they went on their NHL career. So I watched a lot of weird, like, WHL players play in the NHL. I loved it so much. Anyhow, I've been checked out for a long time, but anytime I get to watch a hockey game, I'm into it. I think it's an amazing sport to watch. All of that to say, I was in love with watching hockey today and watching the United States. I love the Olympics, watching them go up against Canada. The not self-proclaimed, the sporting world, the experts proclaimed Canada as the best team. The best team. And that they have the best guys. And I don't want to get on a side tangent here. I don't want to do this. I have heard so much about Connor McDavid and that he is the best hockey player of all time. Or at least, maybe not of all time. He's the best hockey player on planet Earth right now. And every time I've watched Connor McDavid, admitting moments ago I don't watch every game. I don't watch a ton of NHL during the year, but I watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. I watch the Stanley Cup finals. I've seen Connor McDavid in the Stanley Cup finals the last couple of years, and he stinks. He never wins. He doesn't win. And I'm just like, okay, your best guy doesn't win, and he didn't win again. He didn't win. He had a fast break today where it's like, here comes the greatest hockey player in the world on a fast break, a gimme. And he just dribbled the puck into our goalie. He didn't even shoot it. He's dribble, and then he just ran into the goalie. And I thought, that's just really not good. Your best player in the sport shoots the puck on net on a fast break every time. So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. There's something I'm missing. He's fast, I guess. I don't know. He's big. All I know is he doesn't win. And so that's what I've seen from Connor McDavid. So congratulations on continuing that. And immediately someone on Twitter today was like, yeah, but did you see him in the Four Nations tournament? He won the Four Nations tournament. What? What is that? If it's not the Stanley Cup and it's not the Olympics, then it's not. All right? Like that Four Nations thing I loved. I thought it was awesome. But winning that is cool, and playing well in that is cool. It's like the World Baseball Classic for people who love baseball. We're not really keeping track. It's kind of like guys are playing really hard and stuff, but it's not like It's like the World Baseball Classic. It's just the World Baseball Classic. It's not the Olympics. It's not the Stanley Cup. So I don't know. Whatever. I don't want to get in on that one. The stuff I wanted to talk about today was the cool power of everyone getting excited about something and remembering that it's way more fun when the United States is all in on all together on stuff than being all against each other all the time. Which I'm looking something up right now. What's it? Is that him? There you go. I just liked it a lot more today. I really liked it a lot more today when I was online and it was just the United States unite, felt very United States. And then of course someone, I scrolled social media just enough for one person to be like, this doesn't change that America's a mess. And I was like, man, can we have one day? Can you give us one day, political person, to be excited that the USA won gold and we're all happy together? Can you give us one day? He was like, no, I can't. I will not give you one day. I will remind you that I'm mad about America. So anyhow, there was that. But it was fun to watch this. The great parts of this game were overshadowed by the ending, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But obviously this Jack Hughes kid from the Northeast, I think he's from Massachusetts, gets his teeth shattered, just spits teeth out on the ice, and is like, we're going to keep on playing. The ultimate hockey guy thing, right? And everyone's talking about these Hughes brothers, and I text a guy from my work, and he's like, dude, the Hughes brothers, what did Jeff say? Jeff said, Jeff played hockey for University of Kentucky, so I was texting him, and his first text was, we need Quinn Hughes to start ripping it from deep more often. That was like how he started the day. And Quinn Hughes wasn't the guy who was ripping it. Jack Hughes was. And Jack Hughes, gets his teeth knocked out, then gets a really bad penalty that could have been costly. They kill the penalty, the U.S. does, and in overtime, wild 3-on-3 action. Connor McDavid can't do anything, and Jack Hughes rips one into the net, and the USA wins. And it was awesome. And I screamed out loud. It was cool. A sporting event, something in sports I'd never seen before. I got to watch it with my kids on the couch. That was cool. 44 years old, I finally got to see my first U.S. gold medal in hockey. Huck is 4, Woods is 1.5 years. So they've already checked it off their list of sporting events to see. They've seen a Seahawks Super Bowl and the U.S. win gold. They're seeing all sorts of stuff. The Sonics are probably going to come back soon and just win a title for them, and they're going to just not understand what it's like to never see winning. They're just going to only know winning, which is unfair. Anyhow, at the end of the game is done. I'm super excited. It's really fun, and they keep on flashing. And I've been out of hockey, so I don't know the whole story, but Johnny Gaudreau, a former hockey player who was very involved with the national team, and he passed away 2 years ago. He and his brother were on bicycles, got hit by an SUV, and died. Tragically died. And so a bunch of the players, obviously, this is their buddy, this is their boy. And this moment was it was the ultimate in sports and family and team and what sports means outside of the money, right? And this is where, this is like truly one of those places where hockey shines, because those guys just seem like family always. I feel like the NFL, I know NFL players make a ton of money, but if you watch enough NFL and listen to locker rooms, the good teams, they're ride or die for their boys. And as much as I love the NBA, it's really hard to defend. The NBA is kind of soft, and they don't feel like they're ride or die for their boys. I just like basketball. I like the sport of basketball. I don't know enough about baseball if that's how it is, but I think the clubhouses are pretty tight. Anyhow, we've got players skating around with this Johnny Gaudreau. I'm sure I'm butchering his name. Gaudreau? I think that's right. Skating around with his jersey, number 13, holding it up to the camera, and it's pretty cool. I'm like, okay, that's really sweet. So the players are going around, they've got this jersey, they're doing the stuff, getting their medals. They go to take the picture, and if you missed this, it was just the moment of moments. All of a sudden, a bunch of players, they take a picture, and then all these players a couple players get up and start skating off, and there's a guy kind of like flagging them down, like what's going on, and telling people to stay or telling people to come back. Like it was just a little chaotic. It's these two players go to the crowd, go get Johnny Gaudreau's kids from the crowd and skate them. Now, these players have their own kids as well. After this picture, a lot of these guys went and they were with their kids in the crowd taking pictures. They go get their teammate who had passed away. They go get his kids. They bring 2 of them out on the ice and they take the Team USA picture, gold medal champions with his kids. And I lost it. I was sobbing on the couch. Right? This is dad stuff. I'm sobbing on the couch. I'm like, this is it. This is this is sports. This is what family is about. This is why you do it. This is why people get addicted to it. This is why, some people make fun of sports. They don't understand it. Being in a locker room, having teammates, going through all of it together, going through the ups and downs, working hard, working out, seeing each other grow. It's that sports is awesome for that. It's great. And it was just awesome to see that on display with most definitely surrounded by tragedy that you don't want. But that was just what a powerful moment there for sports. Now, I also loved another moment. I got to get this guy's Hellebuyck. I don't know how to say his name. Hellebuyck. Anyways, our goalie, Helly. I did love this. I did love partially because if you know me, you know my stance on youth sports, that is out of control and there's too much time spent with youth sports and kids are not kids because they're just doing youth sports all the times. I get made fun of it here in Lexington because I always make fun of the youth sports, that it's overtaking everything. And it was great to know the greatest goalie in the world, the goalie that wins the gold, his family, when he was growing up, they're like, you're not traveling everywhere. You're not doing all this. We want you to be a kid. And they raised him to be a kid. And he played hockey, and they had him and stuff, but he wasn't traveling. It wasn't all these travel teams. He wasn't hockey 24/7. And guess what he did? He turned into the best goalie in the world. So it's just like, it was that great moment that you just kind of hope some people who get way too into it, who I think are having their children lose their childhood a little bit. It was just a great reminder that's at some point when it gets up to that level, there's just a natural ability that is going to shine through that I know it's like, well, hard work. I get it. But at some point when you get to that level, it's a little more than just hard work. Okay, we've talked too much hockey. It was an awesome moment. Great to see something new I'd never seen happen in sports. We got to wrap up the podcast. 15-minute podcast. We're just about to go over 15 minutes. I was going to talk about how Lexington's the coldest city in the world. All it does is snows and ices here, and I'm kind of tired of it. I thought we were moving to a place where I would visit, and it was hot and humid, and I was thinking when we moved here, I was always going to be sweating. Instead, it's cold here all the time. It snowed today. February 22nd, it's snowing. What is this place? When I moved, I knew I was going to leave my boys and my family, and I was like, well, at least it'll be hot. Nope. It's just cold and snowy. And I get video from Spokane from my buddies it's like sunny out. And they're like, well, let's go golfing. Okay. My Kelly's, what are you into? I'm going to get into a board game that needs a little bit of love, and then we'll wrap up the podcast.
Kelly's, what are you into?
My Kelly's, what are you into today? Shout out to Kelly. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for telling me that the What Are You Into segment that my wife, when she was on the podcast back in the day, used to do. Kelly liked it because my wife did it. And then I just took it over and I was like, my wife will never be back on the podcast and I will take over this segment. I played Chinese checkers with my buddies last night. My buddy here in Lexington Mike, I've got to differentiate him from Spokane Mike, who lives in Lexington now. Lexington Mike, I went over to his house last night and we played Chinese checkers, and we do that every now and then. He's got a Chinese checkers set. His dad made the Chinese checkers board, and it's awesome. And so we've got this Chinese checkers set. We play it, and every time we play it, I think, this is a very, very fun game. This is a very fun game. It's a very fun board game to just have in that collection of games you just kind of own and maybe you don't always play them, but when you have people over and you're looking through games and you throw out Chinese checkers, and they say yes, it's really fun. It's really fun. By the way, Blazers won. Aha, yay. It's really fun. There's just enough strategy in it to make it interesting. It's not luck. I really liked it. If you have not played Chinese checkers ever, or if you haven't played it lately, it's worth looking into. I wonder how much it is on Amazon. Let's see here. Amazon. One thing about Chinese checkers is, Let me. I actually need to do some research on this real quick. We're gonna do it live. Chinese checkers. Looking on Amazon for a price. You can get Chinese checkers for $22, $16 without marbles, with little pegs. You can get it for $16. If that's worth it, it's worth owning. It's worth spending the $22 and getting the one with marbles, because marbles kind of make it fun. There's a $24 one that has marbles and also a little pocket. Go to Amazon and get yourself a Chinese checkers. I need to look up Chinese checkers real quick on Wikipedia because I trust Wikipedia with my life. I want to see here. Chinese checkers is a strategy board game of German origin. Okay? The game was invented in 1892 under the name Sternhalma, as a variation of the older American game Halma. The name Chinese checkers originated in the United States as a marketing scheme by Bill and Jack Pressman. Okay, well, interesting, because I was wondering how this happened. Checkers, the game Checkers, was created in, I wanted to find the year for Checkers. It's been at least, it was like, Checkers looks like it goes back to BC days. Okay, BC. Like dating back, they have apparently found, archaeologists have found boards dating back to like 3000 BC. So Checkers has been around longer. And I just always wondered, like, what happened with Chinese checkers where they were like, this is enough like checkers. And I thought, you never played checkers. Just because you jump over pieces doesn't mean it's like, oh, well, in checkers you jump over pieces. There is no real similarity between checkers and Chinese checkers. But now it makes me feel better doing the research that really it was just some Americans who were like, well, we're not creative. And so we're going to call it Chinese checkers. Bill and Jack Pressman, they're like, we aren't creative. We are not creative. And so we're just going to call it Chinese checkers. And that's what it's going to be. All right, so anyways, get yourself some Chinese checkers, play it. It's really, really good. And that's it for the podcast today. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I hope your Monday goes swimmingly.